Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 171. Minneapolis is done, and I gotta tell you, these East Coast guys, they brought the sauce. They did not disappoint at all. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a hell of a series. I'm already loving it. The guys went out there, and what a race! What a race!
Yeah, indeed. The intensity was just like, it was there. It was just that fresh start for these guys. Yeah, they really went at it. We're gonna get into all that stuff, but just to start it off with this track and a couple things in practice before we move on, we found out pretty quick how fast this track was, because these guys were putting in like low 50s, like 50-second lap times and 46-second lap times, but it was a really fast track. Chad Reed commented and said how like small the track was and how the floor plan wasn't as big as something like Arizona, but that was just the first thing that stuck out, just how fast these guys were going and how short these lap times were.
Yeah, a lot of laps were written, and well, Austin Forkner right off the bat with the best qualifying time with a 46.6.
Yeah.
And someone that surprised me a lot was Justin Cooper in that second place, because Justin Cooper actually came in and had the fastest lap time until Forkner sweeped it off of him a couple of laps before the time was done. But yeah, he surprised me a lot with the second place with a 46.8.
Yeah, Justin Cooper, we definitely did not talk enough about him, but yeah, he's going to be a contender for sure. Super fast.
Yeah, he looked really good. A contender for this championship, and there's a lot of contenders to this championship. I saw a lot of good rides, and I don't want to say that I was right, but I was right. And
yes. Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that and how I was wrong, because, you know what, I'm just going to be talking about Justin Cooper instead of Christian Craig. I don't know why I said Christian Craig. I think I got nervous and it just came out, but he's not healthy. We saw the interview with him during the Supercross live show, and he looked high on painkillers or something.
Yeah, he looked like he was way too relaxed and not really out there to ride. He was just out there to get points, as he said. And that's one of the reasons you commented our last episode of the picks. You said, you know, how all this talked about the Geico team and didn't even pick him for the top 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is why. I knew he wasn't 100%.
I didn't know that. Well, he said in the interview he had his pins taken out and then he had to wait another 2 weeks, so he's just not there yet. But yeah, I wish I would have known that. I thought he was good.
Yeah, they thought that he was going to get well faster, and obviously not, so... and we'll get into that as well.
It's just like, I just knew as soon as he started talking, he pretty much said that he wasn't going to try and stuff. He was making up so many excuses before we even went out there. I was like, my chances are done. That's it.
Yeah, and it definitely showed.
He had the 12th fastest time, which, wasn't even inside the top 10, so it was a bad pick on my part. We're just going to forget about that one right there.
All right, we'll clean it up and start over. No worries. And before we move into this 250 heat number 1, I wanted to touch up on a couple of things too. One, for press day, I guess the Husqvarna rig broke down.
Yes.
And the bikes weren't there for them to do the press day, that's it's huge, especially with Dean Wilson coming into the team and East Coast starting. They didn't get those extra laps, and I was like, what? Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, they talked to Thomas Covington, and he's just there chilling on press day.
Yeah. Well, him and Jordan Bailey.
Exactly.
And, they couldn't get those extra couple of laps, a couple of minutes that they get on press day.
Hopefully they didn't get stuck in the negative 5-degree weather or whatever it was out there.
Yeah, a lot of people were having problems with their batteries and stuff, not being able to start their cars. And I know I talked to Bubba, and he was like, I hope I just make it to the stadium, because, he was a little worried about that. And I know they had a little problems. They had to go to the mechanic and quote unquote heat it up. So,
yeah, we'll have to talk about that more on the 450, because that's funny.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to say, Ricky loving the pen. He was just drawing on everything. I don't know if you noticed that too, but he was just right here, this line, and he was just circling everything, he was calling out NFL plays or something. And another one, and I think this is the most important one, Do you think that the stadium looked empty?
I did think that, but you have to remember it was like 5 degrees outside. People just don't go out when it's that cold. Well, I mean, I wouldn't, that's for sure. But yeah, it did seem a little bit empty. I mean, all the crowd was kind of gathered on the rhythm sections, but mostly like in the far corners and the turns back there. It was just like there was so many empty seats.
Yeah, I thought the weather definitely had something to do with that, but you're in the dome, so.
Yeah, get to the dome, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. It still looked cold in there though, because everyone still had like jackets and stuff on. So it was probably like it was probably like 50 or something degrees in there. You can only get it so warm when it's that cold outside, I guess. It's like 40 degrees in there. I don't know. Who knows? But what do you say we just jump right into these heats, because we got a lot to talk about through this whole night. Yeah,
we're coming into 250 East first round pretty much. All new riders and numbers and a whole new championship to be battled out. So
yeah, this first 251, this one's actually pretty easy to recap because Jordan Smith got the whole shot. Alex Martin and Justin Cooper were right behind him. And those 3 guys, they didn't change positions the entire race. Those 3 ran just like that. As we said, the track was really fast. It was, I don't want to call it easy, but it seemed like everybody was doing all the same obstacles. And it was also like one lane and like really hard to pass.
Yeah, it was simple.
Yeah, it was simple, and it was so fast that like if you wanted to make a pass, you had to like slam someone.
And that happened.
Yeah, it definitely happened a lot in this 250, which was super exciting. And it actually happened this race because Osby, he was running pretty good. I think he was definitely inside the top 10, and he gets taken out by like Christian Craig and like TJ Albright right behind them. Those 2 got together in that corner. We saw a lot of action in that corner right there. Right away, so it was just some aggressive passing, and all 3 of them went down. They all ended up like 17th, 18th, and 20th, so right from the start of this race, those 3 were in the very back. We also saw some really aggressive passing by Cartwright, passing Lane Shaw for 7th, ran him right into the camera. They're already in qualifying positions, but they were making some real aggressive passes coming through. And that was pretty much like the bulk of the action that happened in this race.
Well, yeah, Christian Craig coming all the way back to 7th place. He saved the heat and the extra riding time for the LCQ, and I think that's huge for him. I know we talked smack about him at the beginning of not really smack, but we talked about him at the beginning of the podcast. But he did save the heat going to the main straight from the heat, and he came back all the way to 7th place. I feel like that's notable.
Definitely. Yeah, and Osby came all the way back to 10. Just missed it by 1.
But yeah, as you said, there wasn't a lot of action on this one. Jordan Smith took the first win of the year, I guess, for them.
Start to finish.
From start to finish. And what a great way to start your year. He looked really good.
He did. Alex Martin got 2nd place. Justin Cooper, 3rd place. Kyle Peters, that first Suzuki's. They actually looked pretty good. 4th place, Mitchell Falk, 5th. Joshua Cartwright, 6th. Christian Craig up to 7th, as you said. Thomas Covington, 8th. And Hunter Sales, 9th place, able to get that last spot. But as we said, Osby, Shaw, they're going to the LCQ.
Yeah, Chase Marquier and others. In heat number 2, the other half of this wild pack of this 250 East Coast.
Oh, yeah. We got heated up. We got spicy here for sure.
Yes, we have friend of the show, Ramilier Alves and Lorenzo Locurzio. We have Faulkner, we had Davalos, we had Cunningham, we had Oldenburg, Jordan Bailey, a bunch of names on this one too. Faulkner started with the great hole shot again, just like Jordan Smith. Davalos had it, but Faulkner, he snuck right in there and got it from under him.
Yeah, Mitchell Oldenburg were up there, and Blake Wharton also had really good starts behind them.
Yeah, Blake Wharton had a great start on this one. He did really good. I was super surprised. Sexton made a mistake, though, and he went down. He just kind of missed the jump and then just went over the bars, and he got right up.
Into the tough blocks, man, and lost his visor.
Yeah, I know.
Like an astronaut helmet or something out there.
Yeah, they made a big deal about it. They're trying to talk about maybe we should come up with a theory of how this could be convenient, more aerodynamic for you and stuff.
It definitely looks kind of. It actually usually when people lose their visor, it looks stupid, but I don't know. It looked kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think they had a point there.
Ricky's like, yeah, there's something there to look at, and Ralph made a comment like, dude, you're Ricky Carmichael. You can say whatever you want, and people will believe you. And I was like, what?
See, I'm in, I guess. I believed it.
Martin Davalos with his 92nd main event on the 250 class. That's insane.
Yeah, 93 after this one, but we said he's been in this. We've seen him in this class before. I think we said 35 years or so. So, yeah, just proof. 93 main events for that guy in the 250
speaking of
class.
Davalos, he ended up getting hooked to the ground. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah,
he was running fourth and he hit Blake Wharton and just went down in the corner. Then he fell all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, little stupid mistake. There was a nice little battle between fourth and from all the way from 4th to 7th place. They were all right next to each other. Wharton was in the front of this battle. It was I think it was.
Yeah, they didn't really show how, but Blake Wharton was actually in 2nd place in front of Oldenburg.
Yeah.
And then, he was just panic revving the crap out of that bike in the rhythm section.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea how he didn't crash. I don't know. How did he save that? I think he just got lucky.
Well, yeah, he got lucky and just muscled that thing.
Dude, one thing that was funny, I looked at the tracker for what place they were in, and it had Ramy in 9th and then Lorenzo in 10th. I was like, we're going to see something go down between these two.
And we did.
For that final shot.
Also, Sexton was there with them too. They had a good little battle for a couple laps.
Yeah, after Sexton fell, he was he caught up to them and he was about to pass Lorenzo, and then he went down again, just grabbed too much front brake, and he was nose wheeling into the turn. He couldn't use his back brake at all, just went right through it, took himself out, really.
He put a badass pass on these two, though, on Lorenzo Lacurcio and Ramy Alves.
Yeah, he caught back up to him. He must have got up fast because it was the next lap, he caught right up to him, and then he passed them both in the same corner. It was Lorenzo was passing Ramy, and at the same time, Sexton just passed them both.
Yeah, he was just all right, you guys keep battling. I'm just going to go around y'all right here.
Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah, it was good. And Sexton, he took the 8th place, so that's good for him. Cunningham had a last-minute pass on Davalos, who's been battling throughout the whole heat with Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey was in 4th, Davalos in 5th. And then, like you said, last lap, right before the finish line, Cunningham snuck it in there. The silent assassin.
The silent assassin's like a ninja.
Yeah, it was kind of a ninja move. But yeah, it was a good race, and this really, kicked off. It just seemed like there was so much more action in this second heat than there was in that first heat.
Yeah.
Austin Faulkner won, just like Jordan Smith led every single lap. Mitchell Oldenburg got 2nd. Blake Wharton got 3rd. Jordan Bailey got 4th. Kyle Cunningham, the silent assassin, got 5th. Martin Navallo 6th. Henry Miller 7th. Chase Sexton up to 8th. Brandon Hartranft 9th place. And Lorenzo and Ramy all going to the LCQ.
Yeah, and
the race of the night. I cannot wait to talk about this race. This is my favorite. This is the race of the year so far, this LCQ of this race. So much happened. It was completely wild. This is the definition for LCQ madness. This race just sums it all up. And it started off actually with a clean hole shot. Very clean. And I told you before this race, I said Osby, man, he's good at starts. So I wasn't surprised when he got the hole shot.
That's what I was gonna say. That you mentioned to pick Osby because he's got good starts. He's gonna get a good one, and he did. He got a clean shot. He was followed by Marquier, Retmon, and Shaw right there off the start.
Yeah, and it didn't take long for stuff to start going down. Dustin Winter, he was up in a qualifying position, and then he went off the track.
Yep, yeah, right there at the beginning.
And then Redmond kind of slams Lane Schaff and makes a pass on him for 3rd. And then in the next rhythm section, he just cases a jump in it and goes flying over the front of that and has a pretty big crash.
Yeah, he was lucky, and he landed and just leaned on the top block.
Yeah, it was almost like a model pick, with his hand up behind his head, just laying down.
Yeah, he was in pain though.
He landed so perfect, but yeah, he was definitely, he was on that tough block though. He had a little pillow there.
Yeah, then right after that, Crown goes over the...
Yeah, Joey Crown disappears over that bowl turn. He just launched it, so sketchy. We didn't see where he landed, but just the way he took off, it looked insane, and the crowd went nuts.
Jace Pennington did tap him though.
Oh, he got a little help.
Yeah, he tapped him, and it kind of took him off balance, and Joey went right over that berm.
And then here was the craziest crash of the whole night. and it involved our boy Ramy Alves.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So they're both in those final transfer positions. They come down like the straight right before the finish line.
Yeah, right before the finish line. All this is happening. We're not even a lap in on this LCQ. This is happening literally like the first turn, then the second turn, then this is coming into the third turn, and then now right before the finish line, we're about to complete or start our first lap.
Yeah, and it was just insane because Ramy's on the outside, Laneshaw's on the inside. Laneshaw definitely he takes them both out, really. He runs them right off the track. They both fall, and then Laneshaw gets ran over 3 times, basically.
I know.
Yeah, first he gets like hit by Chase Marquier. Then he totally gets ran over by Marshall Welton. And this one, he like run over. It was like one pass. He ran over his boots and then like his face, like got his chest. He really ran him over.
Yeah, he got messed up, dude. And I hope he's good. We're probably gonna try to put this video up on our Instagram at the MXSX podcast, and hopefully, Lane is not too messed up and is going to be able to race Arlington this weekend.
Yep, I didn't see an update yet online, but of course we'll keep everybody updated on what happens to him. But then right after that, James Weeks even just like runs over the back of his leg. So he got, he got hit, ran over in the front, and then the back of his legs got ran over. It was just like it all happened in, a couple seconds. And he took our boy Ramy out. So it was just
three-peat.
Crazy, a super crazy moment right there.
Yeah, Ramy was trying to go too, but his bike got like stuck or something on Lane's bike, and too bad because he was looking good. He had a great start. And it looked like he was going for that main event.
And then so all this happens, and everyone is obviously super amped up, and that includes Ricky Carmichael. And I don't know if did you hear his voice crack?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, just to remind you, here it is.
Osby's just on a planet of his own. He's probably thinking, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here?
He is so amped up. I don't know. I just thought that was super funny. I was just like laughing so loud. What's going on here?
What's going on here?
It's so dumb.
Not to rag on Ricky, but that was pretty funny. But yeah, this race just had everybody so amped up, and it has me amped up still because I know this East Coast is going to be amazing.
And meanwhile, Lorenzo, who started like 7th or 8th, moves up to 3rd place, and after the whole Laneshaw Ramy Alves situation, starts on the hunt of Marquier.
But yeah, Lorenzo, he definitely, everything just kind of fell into place for him, you could say. I'm not saying he wouldn't have made those passes, but he didn't have to work very hard.
No, exactly. He moved from like I said, he had an 8th start and moved all the way to 2nd. The only pass that he actually made was over Chase Marquier because everything else, everybody just kind of fell down in front of him. So I'm very pumped about Lorenzo getting into the main event, and I hope he gets all of them. And does good. So
yeah, he did pretty good, which we'll get into. But there was this last lap battle just to wrap up this LCQ, a last lap battle for that 4th final transfer position.
Yep.
Wilson Fleming, Chase Pennington, and Marshall Welton. Chase Pennington had a shot to get him for that final transfer position, but Fleming, he was able to hold it off. So just some really good battling all around in this class.
Yeah, LCQ, definitely everybody's saying that it's like the best race so far of the whole year.
Osby won it, LaCourcio 2nd, Marquier 3rd, Wilson Fleming going to the main. And let's get into this main because it also did not disappoint. As you said, Martin Davalos, his 93rd main. Super vet of the 250 class.
Yeah, super vet. So they go into the parade lap and stuff, and then they come back, and I guess Jordan Smith goes to the bathroom before the start. Like they do the parade lap, he goes to the bathroom and comes back. I honestly have no idea what could he be doing, but I guess that's his routine and that's how he does it. And I guess whenever he came back, they were like working on a KTM, and he thought it was Mitchell's bike. And he's like, "Oh, what happened?" And then he's like, "Dude, you have a flat tire." And you're like, "Oh, me?" And then he like kind of got into it. So I guess he had a flat tire, and they changed the back tire. So props to Christian Ortiz, who's the Jordan Smith mechanic for this Red Bull Troy Lee Designs KTM team, who changed the back tire, had it ready to go before they dropped the gate. So they had like the 2-minute board up, and he got it all done and and back on the.
They did it so fast. It was crazy because they're holding that board up. They're not gonna wait for him. So
no, I was just thinking
crazy.
if they would have started, let's say they would have started, all those guys were working right there. Like, what if one of them would have, it's a little bit of a dangerous type situation. But I'm glad they got it done, and props, Matt props to that team because they got it done and they got Smith ready to go on the start. But all of that effort wasn't enough because Faulkner had the cleanest start of the night and takes the whole shot. He was followed by Martin, by Davalos, by Sexton, and the rest of the pack.
Yep, Covington, Justin Cooper, Craig, 8th place.
Right off the start, we go around, and Blake Wharton actually has a little accident in the whoop section.
Yeah.
And
He was
the
right behind them in 9th, and when he flipped the bike over, went off the side of the track, and that thing nailed him right in the back of the head.
Yeah, he looked like he was playing hide and seek and just hiding under the bike. He's like, nobody found me.
Might still be down there, actually.
Yeah, still looking for him.
He won hide and seek.
Yeah, but Jordan Smith, who takes a spot over Sexton and wasting no time to close up on Martin, he makes a pass on Martin in the same section that he passed Sexton in just a lap before, and takes second place from Davalos.
Yeah, and then Alex Martin takes out Davalos. He's like, I'm going to follow you. And then he just totally just takes out Davalos right there.
Yeah, then Davalos goes down. Sexton makes a little mistake trying not to hit Martin. He goes down again and loses.
He goes down again and loses his visor. In the rhythm set, dude, this was this could have been a super scary crash. He had to totally lock up his brakes mid-rhythm section and somehow was able to get up after it. But super sketchy moment. I'm not 100% sure what happened to him, but he was able to not die. So props to him.
Yeah, he saved it. I mean, Martin made a mistake. Sexton was, about to make a pass on him again, and, he tried not to hit him and kind of just was able to, stop in the air and not run into him. But
he's just going for that no visor look again, though. He's like, try this out again. He's actually starting a trend. That's what it seems like.
He's a Mike Metzger trend.
Exactly.
Back in the day,
he looks like Mike Metzger out there. There we go.
Yes, Jordan Smith went down after hitting the top of the berm, that loose stuff. He lost the front end and gives up a spot, for a second.
Yeah, he's running second. It looked like maybe he can catch Faulkner, and then he goes down, and then Alex Martin moves to second.
Yeah, and then Martin made a little mistake that cost him the second place to Smith again.
And whenever they're running like this, we had Faulkner out front, we had Jordan Smith in second, and we had Alex Martin in third, and I was like, that's just how Claudio predicted right there.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. So I called that top 3 just like that, and I was super excited until, Jordan Smith taking out Falk. Also, he didn't care. He was just like...
He was lapping his teammate and took him out, but...
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, it sucks for him, though, because he was once he got going again after his fall, he was 10, 11 seconds behind, and it just it stayed there. He didn't close the gap at all, really, and he didn't lose any more time either. So I would have liked to see what would have happened if those two could have just started, right next to each other. We would have seen some super good racing.
No worries.
But it was still good.
No worries. We're going to see it next weekend, probably. So,
yeah.
So Austin Faulkner, Jordan Smith, and Alex Martin is your top 3. Justin Cooper in 4th, but not for long because he makes a great pass over Martin after following for literally 3 laps around the track.
Yeah.
And
ran him off the track.
Yeah, he took him out right before that finish line. He's just tired. He's like, all right, dude, I got to go.
That was a popular spot that was one of the only spots to pass, really. It seemed like so much happened right there in that corner. And he just ran him off the track, messed up the whole timing and scoring thing because he didn't go over the finish line jump.
Yeah, that corner before the finish line and before the finish line corner as well was popular for block passing and stuff. But that's pretty much the night. Austin Faulkner took the win. Jordan Smith got second. Justin Cooper got third. Almost got that top 3, man. I was, I wish.
Yeah, but you were so close. So close.
Yeah, Alex Martin got 4th, Chase Sexton with 5th, Mitchell Oldenburg in 6th, Kyle Cunningham in 7th, one of my fantasy picks, Hartraff in 8th, Jordan Bailey in 9th, Kyle Peters in 10th, Thomas Covington in 11th, Lorenzo Locurcio with a great 12th place. I can see him running top 10 though. Joshua
Me too.
Osby in 13th, Henry Miller in 14th, Blake Wharton 15th, Martin Davalos in 16th, Mitchell Folk in 17th, Chase Marquier in 18th, Joshua Cartwright in 19th, Christian Craig in 20th. As we said, just out there putting around.
Yep.
And Hunter Sales in 21st, and then Wilson Fleming in 22nd place.
Great night of racing. Austin Forkner, whole shot, led all 20 laps. We knew there was going to be a lot, but 20 laps for those 250s, that is a lot. And just a great night for him. He said on the podium that he overrode the track in practice, so it looked like maybe he was going to end up like Cianciarulo, but it looks like he might have learned from AC's mistakes on the West Coast and starting this season off really strong. He'll have the red plate next week.
Yeah, congratulations to Austin Faulkner for the first win. He looked great, and yeah, like you mentioned, we're gonna see him with the red plate this coming up weekend.
That's right. Well, is there anything else we should add to this episode?
Yeah, stay tuned for our next episode, 172, where we're gonna recap the 450, and we're gonna talk about what's happening, baby.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.